What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Thursday night show. Thursday night live. I am very full. I just ate a bunch of pizza. Loading it up. Michael, what's up? Michael Bearden. I feel like it's the first time I've seen you, right, Michael? Naomi, what's up? Loza, what's up? I feel like it's the first time I've seen you, right, Michael? JRV, what's up? Bike Race, what's up? How bad is the traffic in Norfolk? It's extremely, it's terrible. It's terrible. Especially when Mr. Punchin Brizzle, shout out. It's because I put it up on my laptop screen. It should be alright now. Haley, what's up? So the traffic in Norfolk has the largest naval base. So the base facility, the people get off around 1400 to 1500, so 2 to 3 o'clock. And I don't know exactly how many people are on base, so but there's a minimum of 30,000 people. So 30,000 people leaving at once, the traffic gets insane. So a normal average traffic, 20-minute ride might be 2-hour drive with the traffic. David Garcia, what's up? JRV, thank you. How often do you go to Virginia Beach? Not too often. Since I don't have a car, there's not a whole lot of need for me to go. Is there a depth perception test in boot camp? If so, when? I don't think there is one. I just know they test you in MEPS. Is a car necessary? No, but it definitely helps at times. Let me fix this. Okay. Alright, let me reduce the brightness here. Okay. Should be alright. Are you in your dorm? No, I am at home in Pennsylvania right now. I'm on leave. My leave, I go back soon to the ship. What do you think of contract marriages? Two buddies getting married to get paid more and live off base. So, yeah, there are people. How's Pennsylvania? It's hot. It's extremely hot. So there are people in the military that, it's by law you're not allowed. Once you get married, you're not allowed to cheat on your spouse. That's adultery, and you can get in some trouble with that. But there are people that get married for the money, because once you get married, then you get BAS, BAH, and money for housing and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't seen anyone who got caught, but it's one of those things where it's embarrassing once you get divorced. You're 18, 19 and you're already divorced. Stacy, what's up? So some people don't really care about marriages right now. I think the current trend, the culture is doesn't value marriage as much anymore, because or responsibility of having a kid, having a child. People just have child whatever, and they're still single and not married, and they're divorced 2 to 3 times or even 4 times. So it's kind of in that sense, in my opinion, the society is going down. But see, can you donate unused leaves to your friends? Not that I know of, Loza. What usually happens is you can only have up to 60 leave days. So each month you get 2.5 leave days, and then every single month as time progresses you stack them up, right? And you can have it up to 60 leave days, and after that you have to sell your leave days. Did you know the CVN 73 is going dry port for like 5 years? Yes, I do. That's the G-Dub George Washington. I would love to be on it, to go to dry port for 5 years. Because the G-Dub, you're getting paid sea pay, but you're not really like going out to sea. You're in dry docks getting the ship repaired, but you're getting paid as if you were out at sea. Yeah, I would love to be in the G-Dub right now. Thank you, brother. Respect. Thank you for your service as well. Thank you, Mr. Puchin Brizzle. I ship out October 3rd as a pact. Awesome. Can I be in the military yet be in college while I am active duty? Emilio. Yeah, you can. It's just it depends on your luck, Emilio. You might be able to take several college classes if it's not that busy where you work. But if it's extremely busy, some of my friends, one of my friends is taking like 3 classes, and most of his free time is spent on his school. So he'll work, long hours, maybe like 12 hours a day, and then at the end, he has to do schoolwork. So majority of his time is spent in school. So you might not necessarily have a lot of free time or time to study for your advancements or any like awards or any competitions coming up. So that there's trade-offs, but preferably you always try to take 1 class per semester, and that's okay. So I'm taking math right now, so just one college class, not taking it too crazy, just slow and steady. Would you recommend it? Because I have an aviation rate. Should I try to get it? Like get married? Oh, try to go to G-Dub. G-Dub, okay, so dry docks, it's very split, right? That's where my ship was, CVN 72, the Lincoln. That's where my ship was, and that's what I was doing earlier in my career. I personally loved it, but I know a lot of people that hated it. So if you want to go to school, it's the perfect time to go to school, like college and stuff. But there are trade-offs, right? It's not the most ideal place to work in your military career. It's not, you're being used as a janitor to clean up human feces or, paint spaces and, all that kind of stuff. So you're not going to have a good Navy career if you go to the G-Dub. But, if you use your time well, you get a college degree. Hey Yoon, I just got back from PT, physical training. Lay love, what's up? Welcome back. Lies recruiter tell you? Yes, El Macho, my recruiter did lie to me. I'll cover that in a bit. How's the Navy? CZ Motzi. The Navy's alright. I can't wait to get out, but I appreciate everything it's doing for me right now. Is the Navy harder than the Army? I don't know in exactly what aspects. Physically, I don't think it's harder. Physically, it's not that challenging at all. I'm sure Army. I know for a fact Army is much more challenging. But in terms of knowledge base, I feel like Navy is a lot more competitive because it's more knowledge base. Like I'm going up for blue jacket, what's called a blue jacket of the quarter. So I am going up against other people within supply, and I have to be very knowledgeable. I have to have a decent amount of public speaking level, and go up against people in terms of like basic knowledge and stuff. What do you think of honor graduate ribbon? I think it's a good thing. I mean, Loza, it's sometimes it's not fair how they really distribute that out, you know, because that's kind of, it goes to the favorites. So like, I think I was a very outstanding, you know, recruit, outstanding sailor, but I didn't get it because I wasn't the favorite. You know, there were a lot of people who weren't good, in my eyes, who weren't good sailors, who were just, you know, kind of not the ideal military person that you would imagine to be, but they were favorites, and they got promoted and they got recognized, compared to those people who do what's been told and not talk back and stay by the rules. The people who talk back and, you know, whatever, were the favorites and they got it. So, I mean, it's not a perfect world, you know, nothing's perfect, but it's not really fair how they distribute that sometimes. Mr. Mike, thank you for the $1. Always, always, always very, very kind. Cool, but school is it like an actual school? Or like a computer? Or will the military pay for school while in service? Or like, must I be in the military for a specific time? Or, so Emilio, are you talking about like college classes? Or are you talking about A school? I thought you were talking about college. So if you're talking about college, the general rule of thumb is if you have your surface warfare pin, which I have, which is like a general knowledge test for ship, or if you were in your command for a year at least, then you can use tuition assistance, which it's a program where, you know, it helps you pay for school. So you can, for example, you would go online classes unless, you know, you can drive to a local school nearby and you learn better by, you know, physically seeing the teacher. So then, hold on, I got tripped up by Lauren's comment. Why are you exposing people who helped you? They got you here, so don't talk crap. Am I? I don't think I am, Lauren. I don't know why you're so mean, Lauren. I don't understand. I don't understand where all this hate's coming from. My videos are public. My chain of command, they know I make videos. And I'm not, I don't think I'm exposing anybody, really. I have what's called a freedom of speech. And I can say what I want. Now, I am very filtered. I don't say everything that I want. And sometimes when I say what I want, a lot of people point it out and I take the video away. But yeah, you don't even, like, Lauren, like, once I get out of the Navy, maybe, I didn't delete it, it's private. But anyway, moving on. Do you ship early when you got your ship date? It's called a DAR. What are the chances of shipping early with that? Some people, Harambe, some people did. I know some people who did ship out early. And I think they requested it. Or the recruiter asked of them to do it. So, that's something you would have to ask your recruiter. Okay. I don't think I've ever talked like, yeah, my recruiters did me wrong. You know, that's one thing. But I'm not saying, hey, my recruiters, they're the worst type of people and you know, they should not be in the Navy. See, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, yes, they lied to me and they lied to me this way, and hey, for those of you, if your recruiters are doing the same thing, from my experience, I'm sharing with you on how you cannot get tricked like I did, right? Like my recruiter, I called my recruiter one day and I was like, hey, I want to be an MC, right? By this time, I already have my contract to be an LS. And I say, hey, I'm looking online at this rate called MC, right? Making videos, taking pictures, writing articles and stories. I have a lot of interest in that. But my recruiter said this to me. He said, MCs, they haven't been open for 9 months and they're not going to be open for another 9 months. They're not going to be open anytime soon. It's a very small community and you're not going to get in. And I said, okay, I trusted my recruiter, right? Because, why would he, lie to me? So I got in and went to boot camp. And, in boot camp, sure enough, there were a bunch of other MCs that got in at the same time as I did, which kind of raised a red flag at first. But, I was like, I still trust my recruiter. And then I went to my A school and I was like, yeah, MC, I originally wanted to be an MC, but, my recruiter said the rate doesn't open, and the instructors were like, no, your recruiter lied to you. And I was like, oh. And I went to my ultimate command, and I was talking to a bunch of people, and there were a ton of people that had the same experience, not just coming into as MCs, but, when they wanted to be an LS, their recruiters were telling, hey, LS hasn't been open for, this amount of time. It's never going to be open. You should just be a corpsman, right? There were a bunch of people with similar story like me. So, Lauren, I don't know, it might come across, I don't know if I come across as, hey, these people are the worst people in the world, but that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is, hey, your recruiters, as nice as they are, as, kind heart as they might have, but they're trying to recruit, right? They're trying to do their job. You can't blame them for trying to fill up quotas. But if you want a specific job, you can get it. So that's what I'm trying to do. And, that's just one example. So Lauren, if you can point out some videos, like, hey, this video is defacing, X, Y, and Z people, just let me know. And I'll take it down or, private it or whatever. But, I hope, that clears up some misunderstanding. I don't even, curse. I don't, try to talk down on people. That's not me. I try to, help people. I hope that helped. Can you say hi, Amy? Leonore says. What's up, Amy? Hi, Amy. Naomi Evans. I'm 100% sure he doesn't do it for views, so he just says what's on his mind. America, good morning, good evening, Yoon. John, good evening. Lauren, recruiters are liars. They just do their job. So you deleted the video, why I hate the Navy. Try again. I didn't delete it, I have it on private. The reason why I privated the video is, I made it public in the first place because all of my videos, right, it's really 20-80, right? 80% saying, hey, it's great, right? 20% saying there's some things going on, right, that I don't like, but I can't really go in depth with it, right? And the video why I hate the Navy was more 40-60 that time, or maybe it was 50-50, I don't know. And there were a lot of people concerned for me, right, saying, hey, this could get you in trouble, you should take it down. And I posted it in the first place because I said, you know what, I don't care. But because of the people that were concerned for me, I took it down. So that was really, honestly, my reasoning why I put it on private. I didn't delete it. I still have it. Okay. They will tell you anything. You get to join because they have monthly quota. Any tips before recruit training command, like other than study guides, maybe first aid, sea survival, knot tying, etc. LOSA? No, just focus on your study guide. Take it a step at a time. You don't need to jump into things. Kristen Turner, I'm back. Welcome back. Command Sergeant Major of the Army Daily. Hello, what's up? Anthony. Naomi Evans, if you think he's such a bad person, just leave. It's not that hard. Yeah, it's true. If you don't like me, you don't have to come to my live videos and comment on my comment section, which in the long term helps me. Which it almost boggles my mind. Like, I make this reference, for example, one of the biggest reasons why you should not really like leave hate comments and stuff. Alright, so for example, right? For example, let's say this watch, right? I bought this watch and I absolutely hate it, right? And I leave nasty comments to Timex saying, Timex, your watch sucks. You should get fired. You should get, bankrupt, out of business. There's no point of me doing that, right? Because at the end of the day, Timex already won because I bought the watch from Timex. So I spent money buying the watch. So in Lauren's case, she spent a good portion of her life, of her time, the most valuable resource on watching my videos. And she also took the time, even though she didn't like my videos, she took the time to leave nasty, mean comments. And also the next day, today, she took the time out of her day, even though she didn't like me, even though she didn't like my videos, even though she didn't like my content. She took her time, the most valuable resource that we all have, and then she has in her life, to come in and leave nasty comments, right? But at the end of the day, I don't really care. I get death threats on YouTube videos, once every couple of days. I get people saying, hey, I hope we get shot and killed during combat. And I don't really care. It's like whatever. It's like whatever. I get comments like that almost on a daily basis. You should see some of my comments. You saw like on my hate comments video. Yeah, I get those on a daily basis, so it doesn't really faze me. The fact that you comment on my video, you watch my video, helps me because it increases my, people looking at my content. And when you click and watch my video and consume the content, I make money off of that. So, you can hate all you want, but I'm making money. So, and I'm not trying to talk down. I'm trying to help people not be a hater, because in the long run it only benefits the person being hated on. I hope that made sense. You have the right to express your feelings. Everyone does. Like Lauren, I'm not gonna say Lauren is in the wrong to express her feelings. It's how she feels. She has the right to. She can do what she wants. What do you do to pass time besides writing and reading? I have a terabyte of my brother has like a whole movie collection, so I have a bunch of bunch of movies. No, I have one USB portable storage device, and I have a ton of movies, and TV shows. And I download a lot of YouTube videos from Gary Vaynerchuk, and I watch those. And I just consume like movies, Gary Vaynerchuk, and that's kind of what I do to pass the time, and answer a bunch of YouTube comments. So whenever you comment on my videos, I either like it or comment on it. So I think I'm pretty good with reading every single comments and questions that I get. So for those of you who are coming in, I'm backed up a lot on the comment sections. I'm reading from top to bottom, so it might take like 5 or a little bit more to get to your question. They told me in the Cadillac in the infantry 2 months. Later I was in Iraq. No Cadillac in sight. Because they're fired from recruiting duty if they don't recruit enough people. You got a 37 on the ASVAB. You're already. Don't listen to her, Yoon. You give her real advice. She's just a hater. Yeah, I think she left a long time ago, actually. Don't feel bad. Idiota. You don't need to explain this. We get it. You didn't expose anyone. Don't lose your time. I'm not losing my time, I don't think. Answer the question soon. Talk to me later. Stupid questions. Yeah, my recruiter lied to me about changing my job too. I tried to get my job changed, and the recruiter kept telling me it was going to happen, but it never happened. Got stuck with my original rate. Yeah, that's one thing they do. They'll say, hey, once you get in the Navy, you can change your jobs. But it's easier said than done. It's extremely easier said than done. Which branch travels the most? Jay Lee, I'm not exactly too sure. I think it really depends on your luck, but in terms of countries, I would say the Navy. Even though, like, you know, when you are on deployment, you'll visit a country for like 5 days and a country for like 5 days, or you won't even necessarily visit the country. You'll be outside of the country and just looking in. So in terms of going to different countries, probably the Navy. But in terms of enjoying a experience, it might be like the Air Force or the Army. Because I know for the Air Force, I think it's like you're there for like 2 to 3 years. I'm not exactly too sure, but if you get overseas orders, you're there in a country for like 2 to 3 years. So you can travel all you want in one country within that time, instead of like, you know, only taking a little taste of it, like the Navy does. Hello, Anthony Nguyen. My recruiter was excellent. He did everything for me, but my Army recruiter I went to was not that great. Research what you want. Yes. Make sure you know exactly what you want and tell your recruiter exactly what you want up front. My recruiter was trying to convince me that I would be perfect for a CS. I would even like cooking. I told him I wanted to be an AD. Yes. Is someone famous? I think they're just trolling. Is it true there's a lot of gay men in the Navy? There might be. I just don't know of them. I only know, out of my group of friends and acquaintances, if it's out of all the people that I know, that I interact with people, interact with maybe in like a 300, I think only like 2 that I know of. Is it true? Okay. Sup Yoon? What's up Sang? Or Sang? Hey Yoon, I'm 10%. Thanks for the answers. I'll catch you in the next video. Loza. Have a good night. Plot twist. She's a guy. I don't know, but I'm almost sure Yoon is gay. Never know. Yoon is the realest military YouTuber out there. Thank you. As a consumer, we have the right to dislike a product or even a service. Yes. Yoon, I have a RCA Android pad that doesn't play my micro Sims video. Send her across the Trump wall. Do officers travel as much as enlisted personnel? So one good thing that I heard about officers is you're on and off, I think it's like 2 years. So you're at a command for 2 years, and then you go to a different command for 2 years. So like enlisted people like me, my first command, I'm stuck with my ship for basically 5 years. Whereas officers just stay in for 2 years and then move somewhere else for 2 years, and then 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. So in the long run, officers would have, in my opinion, from what I can see and from, when I talk to other officers, because I have an interest in that, they have a whole spectrum of different type of experiences compared to enlisted people. Because I get stuck with my ship. I'm stuck with my ship for 5 years, right? Whereas officers do 2 years here, do 2 years there, and 2 years somewhere else. And 2 years is plenty of time to get the full experience of a ship. For example, like the carrier that I'm in, 2 years is plenty enough time. But I'm in it 5 years. Imagine that. You can see a bunch of different people come in and out. The realist military is Julian, Miguel, Ario. Let's look him up. Bye, Estella. The Army Bell, what's up? Good evening. Nobody knows who that is. The name doesn't ring a bell. Well, now we know. Because Lauren, he has 26 subscribers. My name is Suyo. I'm 22 years old. Active duty, States Marine, lifestyle bloggers. He has one video. So cool. So everyone here, if you're interested in a Marines, was it Marines? A Marines lifestyle blogger. He is up and coming. Check him out. He seems like a cool dude. He only has one video. So Lauren, is he like your boyfriend or? Chi Chu. What's the difference between A school and C school? A school, I lost the question. So one of the, I don't know the exact differences, but one of the differences that I know is, okay, so for example, right, I'm a logistics specialist, I'm an LS, right? So, you come into LSA school to get the basic LS knowledge, right? Everything about what an LS is. Then from there, LSs can go to different C schools, right? So there's hazmat transportation C school, or I don't know if it's necessarily C school, but we kind of treat it as a C school. So there's hazmat transportation, there's ATO, there is post office, postal, and what else? So there are a couple of other things, right? So for example, let's say there's 5 different things. So you take your basic LS A school, then C school is more specialized in one area from your rate. Okay, so your rate might have 5 different specialties, and 5 different C schools or facilities that teach that. So A school is the basic general thing where you learn first, then you go to a specialized school, whatever your specialty is. I heard that if you are not getting the job you want, you should just not go until you can get your job. They can't force you to go. That is true, Anthony. Which depends on your situation, if it allows, right? So if you're financially okay and you can play the waiting game, then that's an option, right? But if your financial situation is dire and you're not getting the rate that you want, then it's up to you if you want to go or not. But yeah, I waiting game would be the preferable option if you want to get the exact rate you want. Michael Bearden, long sigh. Why the long sigh, Michael? Hey Yoon, have you met a CTR? How are they to you? over in Fort Meade. Tyler, what state is Fort Meade? I feel like I've heard of that. I don't know any CTRs, so I'm not really a good person to help you there. They can't really predict the availability of a certain job. You pick up maps and clip, grab my social and cognitive psychology lectures. They play on my phone, but the RCA Android pad. Any reason why? I have no clue what you're saying, John. Yoon, if you're 21 and can you have alcohol in your barracks? No, you are not allowed to have alcohol in your barracks. Unless there's a rule that permits you, but to my knowledge, there wouldn't be any barracks that allows alcohol. Actually, I take that back. The building that I was living in, when I was first making my videos, the barracks where I had my little room tour, Virginia Barracks room tour, you were allowed to have barracks, but it always had to be locked up at all times. So I had a little locker for myself, so it had to be in there at all times. So there are certain rules depending on the barracks. What's the best route to become an officer? Should I go enlisted first and see how it goes? If you want to be an officer, I just recommend, you know, finish your college as soon as possible and go in from there. Because I'm trying to be an officer, using the State 21 package, which is extremely competitive. And I personally think it would have just been better if I got my college degree, then came in as an officer straight off the bat. And if I was in your position, that's what I would do. Okay. I'm joining the Navy. I'm going Air Force. I'm even joining the Navy. I'm going to the Air Force. I'm not joining the Navy. Valeria. Hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you for your support. Harambe, can you talk about alcohol and tips to get it underage in the Navy? I am not going to talk about that. Doom Trigger, Leonabro takes longer. I go through college through a ROTC program and join the military straight as an E1. Baklao. Yeah, I mean, it also takes long. So the application process, once you graduate college, it's like a year. And you might still get rejected. So it's not a guarantee. But I guess that would depend on the situation at the time. Doom Trigger, I am not going to show you anything. This is the most skin you'll see from me. Yeah, I've been doing research about ROTC. I just hope I can get the scholarship. Maryland. USS Hugh City, Shadow Coup. What's up? Julia says, are men and women always separated on the ship? Nope. Like when you're hanging out or eating? No. We're integrated. Unless each ship has some kind of rule, but there's no ship that I'm aware of that has that kind of rule. Besides sleeping quarters, right, and bathrooms, everything is integrated. Equal opportunity. Yeah, definitely college, then go in officer. That way, a lot harder to transition. Wish I'd known that beforehand. Yeah. I meant I'm not going Navy. I was going Air Force. Yeah. That's what I knew what you meant. Doom Trigger, show your tits. One thing, I was in the berthing one day and I was getting ready to take a shower, and I took my shirt off, you know, and there happened to be a gay guy that, you know, just walked by, and he's like, "Oh, you have hamster nipples." So that was my experience with a gay guy. Harambe, when do you get to take your first leave? To my knowledge, after A school. Michael Bearden, I am not showing anything. And I'm not answering your question there, Tyler. I'm not answering these body part questions. Moving to Korea July 13th for the military, Harold. Do you have any friends from Puerto Rico? Yes, some of my friends in the Navy are from Puerto Rico. Have the Lincoln done Fleet Week yet? And where? The only Fleet Week thing that I know is from New York. Show feet. Feet, I guess I could show, but I'm not gonna show any body parts. Doom Trigger, ever since your cat upgraded from a little cat to like a, what is this, a lion? A roaring lion? You've gotten much more fierce. Oh, Ty, so you're the last one to see my last words. Bye bye, world. It was fun while it lasted. Hope there's an afterlife. Banana. Have you met good friends in the Navy? Is it brotherhood type of thing? Harambe, they say it's a brotherhood, right? But I personally never met anyone like, well, there's one person, but you know, we're not that close, but I've never met like a person that I wouldn't mind, you know, like giving an arm and a leg for. So I think it depends on the person. I'm much more introverted and, you know, more like, hey, I'm more solo based. There's a lot of people that's, you know, very social. I'm very antisocial, or like I'm very like, hey, I'm more independent. Yeah, independent's the word. So I haven't really met somebody that I could truly call a brother, you know. I have very close friends. Jay Lee all the way from Puerto Rico. Do you have any friends who are from Filipino or from the Philippines? There's a bunch of people from the Philippines in the Navy. A bunch. So yes, I do have a lot of people that I know. How is YouTube still free? It's not. You're paying your time for it. Your most valuable resource. I hope you get split banana. I actually have some bananas. Hey, I don't. It depends on what ship you're at. I'm Filipino. Lay love. I didn't know you were Filipino. Your Instagram, your pictures on Instagram, you look you don't look Filipino. For those of you who don't know, Instagram, my Instagram, it's in the description section. I do follow back, and I also do look at every single one of you guys. And also, just like if you leave a comment on my videos, I read every single one and comment every single one, or press the like button on it. So if you don't have me on Instagram, check me out. Yoon_ho_Kim. What else can a girl use you for if they marry you besides getting half your pension, like you said from the last time? Half your stuff, you know, just getting divorced. But I'm not exactly too sure everything in detail because I've never really had to look into that because I'm not going to get married anytime soon. I'm going to basic combat training, BCT, in July. For what is that, BCT? Brian Perez. Do you smash on deployment? It's technically illegal to have sexual intercourse while you are on the ship. Real question, do people even still fight on boards? Yeah, there are. I'm sure there are. I'm sure that there's going to be. And I'm sure there's going to be even more in the future, and it's always going to happen. You know, it's never going to be a very civilized military. There's always going to be, you know, situations that occur where maybe it's too hot and people are irritated. Maybe people don't get enough sleep and they become irritated, or, you know, over long periods of time, you know, bad blood starts to mix, whether, you know, you were in a relationship with somebody and they broke apart and they still have to work with each other and they start arguing with each other. There's always going to be stuff like that happening. Where am I stationed again? I'm stationed in Virginia, on board USS Abraham Lincoln. Why is the physical fitness in the Navy important? Why do sailors need to be fit? So one big thing, Halo Man, is in the Navy, you know, to make sure, for example, if the ship gets, you know, hit with like a missile or whatever, and there's a big hole, and the ship's about to sink, you know, it's very important that we prevent the ship from sinking, right? So we close up all the hatches, and when you close up all the hatches, the doors, the amount of space you get to fit in is not that big. It's really not that big. Like, okay. So, okay. Imagine this is a door, right? This is a normal door. No. Scratch that. Okay, so when you close a hatch, right? So this is going to be on the deck. Deck is another word for the floor. One big reason why fitness is important is because so when you need to go downstairs, so this will be on the ground, right? So imagine this. So you need to, instead of this being open where people can just walk in at any time, now you have to fit in through this small little circle that's maybe like 3 foot by 3 foot, 3 by 3. I don't know the exact dimensions, but yeah, there are people that are overweight, that are pretty big, that are not able to fit through that, and those people are in trouble if the ship ever sinks. So that's why fitness is one reason why fitness is extremely important. Have you heard of the new PT uniform? I did. I forgot exactly how they look like, but it's whatever to me. What rank are you allowed to move out of the barracks and use the BAH? Rank E5, but you can also do it with E4 depending on your command's rule. So my command is E4/4. If you have been in the Navy for 4 years and you are E4, you can apply to live outside. Colorblind rates. I don't know exact rates what you can be colorblind. I know LS is one of them. I know a bunch of LSs that are colorblind, and CSs, and probably PSs. America. Do you have any tips for me for Navy boot camp? Yeah, watch my videos. One big tip that I have for boot camp: 2 things. Have fun, enjoy every single day. And number 2, because in boot camp there's going to be people saying like, oh, I can't wait to actually be in the Navy. That's a load of bull crap. They don't know what they're talking about. When you are in boot camp, enjoy every single moment of boot camp. And number 2, try to take all the leadership positions, right? Stacking up experience from the beginning. It's extremely important. When I was in A school, I was what's called a CO, which was basically the RPOC of my A school fleet, which had about 100 people, and that was awesome. I loved it. Like taking command of like 100 people. CTRs are colorblind, right? Do you know MS and MAs? If so, what's your experience with them? I might be in security soon. Security within the ship is run by the MAs, so I might be in security soon. I don't know exact details on if that's going to happen or not. But MAs, I've gotten a lot of mixed reviews. Some people don't like the MAs. One saying there are, for the MAs, is MAs enforce the rules, but they're the first to break the rules. But some people who are an MA, they love being an MA. So I'm sure it's exactly, I'm sure it's where you go and who you work for, kind of, that makes your experience. Do you live on the boat? Yes. Normally I live on the ship, but I'm on leave this week. We're at a class fraternization on USS Hughes City. Have you heard of it? Nope. The biggest one that I heard recently was from the Ike, I think, where the Master Chief was having a fraternization with a chief of something. Filipino and black. Stinkin' Lincoln. Prayers go out to you. It's not as bad as people say it is. What's my Instagram? It's in the description section. I get the feeling my recruiter is in here. Your recruiter could be. Sometimes I get like messages from recruiting stations saying, hey, I'm from such and such recruiting station. Can I use your videos in my recruiting station? And I say, yeah, sure, go ahead, knock yourself out. Tragic to be born like this. Got an 83 on the ASVAB for nothing. In boot camp, did you ever hear of anyone jerking off in the middle of the night? Alex Tinman. I actually have a video, Don't Masturbate in Boot Camp. There was a guy next to me, right next to me, that sleeps right next to me, that masturbated at night. It concerned me because, you know, when you're masturbating at night, you kind of have to look around and also have the image of the arousement in your head. So at one point he would have had to look at me while I'm asleep and still, you know, beat it off. So yeah, that was not a good mental image for me to have. Do you have any tips for me for Navy boot camp? I answered that. Yes, Bruno Mars is my brother. Hashtag brother. Adam, what's up? What time is it there? It is currently, hold on. 21:36. Boom. Which is not 9:36. For those of you who are not accustomed to military time. And if you want to know military time, I actually have a video on it that I think I did a pretty good job explaining military time, explaining how you can kind of tell the difference in military time. Which, actually, let me look it up. I forgot what the video was called. Do you still have your boot camp training guide book? Yes. Not the book you wrote. Oh, Julia. The only thing that we're allowed to keep after I kept basically almost as much as I could. There's no training guide book. Oh wait, no, there is. Did we have to return it, or did I throw it out? I think I threw it out. Yeah, I think you were able to keep it, but I just decided to throw it out. Which was a big mistake in hindsight, so for those of you who want to throw away everything after boot camp, don't do it. Keep every single thing. Telling you this now, keep every single thing. I threw a crap ton away and I regret it. You can get to carry a gun possibly. Yes, if I do go into security, I am able to carry some guns. Can you be in security possession without being MA or going through MA training? Yes, and so my ship does need security, like every ship does, you know. So the MAs would give me very basic, you know, training for like security, whether it's, you know, self-defense, and they're gonna pepper spray me and all that kind of stuff. Give me training with the what is it, MK whatever, and shotgun and pistol. Yeah. Kind of don't want to be in security right now because there's a lot going for me within supply department. It would be a terrible time for me to go, but if it happens, it happens. What are you looking forward to the most once you get out of the Navy? So while I'm in the Navy, right? Obviously, I'm not able to do full time what I enjoy doing. You know, I enjoy, making a live video every single day, right? Like I have been for basically this whole week. But while I'm in the Navy right now, I'm not able to do my live video every single day. I'm not able to, as much as I want, make a video every single day. I'm not able to make the type of content that I want to make every single day. So once I get out, I have the freedom to do whatever I want. Whether it's be in real estate, whether it's start my own business, whether it's even going back to school. Before you join the military and you're in school, you would hate being in school. But when you are in the military, you start to appreciate it, and you're going to know what I'm talking about once you get in. When you're just listening to me right now, you're not going to really understand, or at least I didn't. But when you actually go through the process, you are going to understand it and appreciate it. Okay. So that's the, for those of you who want to know the military time, that's the video that I made a while back. If you want to check that out, you can. I just looked it up. I'm out of water. I might take a water break soon. Yeah, if I do end up in security, you guys will probably, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see me in the security outfit with a gun and stuff. How tall am I? I'm 6 foot. How much do I weigh? I weigh 185 pounds. I think I've gained weight recently, so I might be 190, which is extremely bad. Ideally, I should be 175, so I need to lose weight. I'm letting myself go. Also in boot camp, you'll hardly find people jacking it, just surrounded by a bunch of dudes, so you won't feel the urge to. Some people do, man. Like I know once when I was in boot camp, I guess Tyler, you would know what I'm talking about. When I was roving, roving is there's always somebody walking around the compartment. Compartment is another word for a big giant room where everyone sleeps. I think we stood watch for like what, 2 hours at a time, and there were people at night, 12 o'clock at midnight or like 2 o'clock at midnight, in the bathroom on the toilet for a prolonged period of time. I don't know why, but I can assume they were jerking it. What are you looking forward to? Oh, I already answered that. It's exactly 20:36, so 1 hour off. Yeah. When you join the Navy, from 1 to 10, 10 being they met all your expectation, and 1 barely your expectations, how would I rate it? So 10 being like movie expectation, right? And 1 being, let's say, I don't know, like a cartoon, right? The Charlie Brown cartoon, whatever. I would say it's a solid 6. It's a solid 6, right? On the movies, like everyone's motivated, right? If the leader says, like for example, like let's say everyone's in formation, and the person who's giving a speech says, "Are you ready?" And everyone says with the motivated voice, "Always ready," right? In reality, that's really not the case. So from a 10, that's a 9 right there. There are people that are very disrespectful in the military that talk back, do whatever they want. Instead of doing what they're told, they do exactly the opposite of what they're told. So from a 9, that's an 8. You know, from the movies, you might seem like you're doing all these cool stuff, but in the big picture, yeah, you're doing all these cool stuff, but there's a lot of things they don't show you, like, well, I guess sometimes they show you cleaning the toilets, and like on Forrest Gump, where they like, you know, brushing the floor, making it like look pretty and whatnot. There's a lot more of those than, you know, doing actual cool things. Like in the movies, you know, it shows you're doing very cool things, but it's a lot of uncool things that build your character, that make you stay humbled and build up your work ethic, which that's kind of how I look at it. So that's from 8 to a 7, and I guess it could go lower. I could give you some more examples, but yeah, that's that. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked for sure. How far do you have to be able to run, and how many push-ups and sit-ups should you be able to do before you go to boot camp, Alex? So my personal recommendation is, if you Google, you know, Navy PRT, it's going to show you a big chart that says, hey, you know, to get satisfactory score, this is the amount of push-ups, sit-ups, and run you have to do within a mile, within a certain time. So within that chart, I would recommend you, let me actually look it up and give you the link here. Navy PRT chart. I recommend that you guys strive for good and excellent. So good, high, or excellent. Okay. So this link has, it's the link to a website, and it's going to say, hey, what's your age range? And you click your age range, and it's going to show you satisfactory score, good score, excellent score, and outstanding score. So one incentive to get outstanding is, if you get 3 outstandings, you get some kind of award. So that's what I'm striving for right now. So from that score, based on your age, I would recommend you get a good high or excellent low. If you can, try to go for outstanding. But everyone starts from a different, you know, physique, so it'll be pretty difficult. Do you know what billet or choose specialized jobs to advance your career in the Navy? Matt Ditto. I'm not exactly too sure what your question is. If you could rephrase that for me. Would you like to be stationed in Korea? Of course. You know, I would give up like half, maybe not all, but half my money in my bank account to be stationed in Korea, which is, yeah. If I could go to Korea, man, oh my gosh, I would be loving it. That's what I was hoping for, but it did not work out. Do you recommend the Corps or Army for only 13? And I know I have time to think, but I'm interested on I'm interested. So Ben Higgins, one thing that I recommend, when you are, so 13, I think you can join the Sea Cadets, which is a Navy thing. So, you know, try it. If you don't like the Sea Cadets, then you know the Navy is not for you. And when you are in middle school or in high school, try to join the NJROTC or any type of Army type of affiliated program. So there's like, you know, junior Army stuff, right, like for middle school and high school. Try those and see if you like it. So I recommend, while you have the time right now and you're interested in the military, join all these different, you know, junior military programs. See what you like, see what you don't like. Then make your educated decision on what you want to do. It's like Corpse Ben Higgins. if you become an officer after you're done with 46 years in enlisted and become a civilian, and you decide to try to become an officer, is that easier? Is that easier? Okay, let me read the question. I got sidetracked by something else. If you try to become an officer after you're done with your 46 years as an enlisted and become a civilian and try to become an officer, is that easier or the same thing as going while in? I would say it's probably pretty much the same thing. So there's really two main ways to go in from, well, I guess three. If you make E6, you can do LDO route, which is from first class, or even a chief. You pick up officer. But for me right now, there's really two options: Stake 21 Seaman to Admiral program, which is very competitive. Apply for that, and then the Navy sends me back to school so that I can finish. That's one route I can take, and the second route is called OCS, Officer Candidate School, but I have to have my college degree first. So even if you do become a civilian, then you still have to finish college, which is the OCS route. So it's basically, in my opinion, basically the same thing. From your opinion, what is the biggest thing you wish you knew that your recruiter never told you? Biggest thing that I wish I knew before that my recruiter never told me. The Navy's difficult, man. It's challenging. For sure. I didn't think it was going to be this challenging, honestly. Like, it's one thing for me to say it and tell you, and you're not really going to fully understand this until you are actually within the process. When you are in the Navy, you'll understand, what I'm going through. You'll understand where I'm coming from. But when you're just looking from outside in, you don't fully understand. It's one of those, like, people say, when I first joined the Navy and became a uniformed member, people came up to me and said, thank you for your service. But I was like, oh, I don't really know how to respond to that in the beginning, right? But now I understand. So when people say thank you for your service, I say you're welcome, because now I understand what it means to be in the military. It's not easy as you might think it is. It sucks. It's difficult, but it builds character. It's good for you. It's good for me. It's made me a extremely better person from my own opinion. But yeah. To answer your question, Halo Man, the military is not that easy as you might think, and do not take that lightly. When did you decide to join the Navy? November of 2014. I was in my school's library doing my English paper, and I said, this isn't so fun anymore. And a thought popped up in my head, and it said, when nothing goes right, go left. So I started to think about what's one thing that I never thought about doing, and it happened to be the military. Isn't Captain Ravello Filipino? Yes, Captain Ravello is Filipino. He's the first Filipino to be a commanding officer of a carrier, aircraft carrier. He was my commanding officer, ex-commanding officer. I loved Captain Ravello. He was a very, very good person. I would love to be under his command again. He treated me right. He was a good person. Do you recommend someone to go to college first in the Navy? Giovanna? I mean, I can't recommend anything. I can only say what I would do is, if I knew I wanted to be in the military, I would go to college first, get my degree, and be an officer, because in my opinion, the officers have a better experience being in the military, and then join. So for example, what I'm talking about, like the example I gave earlier, is officers, they only need to do 2 years at a command and they move to another 2 years at a different command. So for me, I'm stuck at my ship for 5 years. Right? For 5 years. That's a buttload of time. So in the long run, if you do a 20-year career, officers can go up to 10 different commands, whereas enlisted people will not go up to 10 different commands, right? They might only go up to maybe like 7 or something. Because, I do 5 years, then I do 3 years at shore, then I don't know exactly how many sea duties, but I think it's like 4 years sea duty, or 3.5, or I think it's a 4-year sea duty. Yeah, so it's like 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3. So that's terrible. Instead of being an officer where it's like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and you can have a huge range of experience. And when you're an officer, you actually manage things. But when you're enlisted, you are a worker. You're like a part of a cog. But an officer is actually the big machine that makes everything function. And enlisted is the pieces that make it happen. And the internet's kind of slow, right? Okay. Whoa, an Asian that watched Forrest Gump. I watched it, when was it? Like couple days ago, actually. I don't know where I watched it. Do you recommend? Okay, definitely college. Navy first, I say. Yeah, I mean, some people. I mean, there's nothing wrong with whatever route you take. You can be enlisted first. There's a lot of people with success stories that come in as enlisted first, and even end up being an officer. So it's not necessarily do this type of thing. It's just from my opinion. If I was you, this is how I would do it, type of thing. Do you have or plan on getting tattoos? Any tattoos? What do most sailors smoke? Sailors do not smoke, because if they do smoke, besides cigarettes and vape, if they smoke any illegal substance, they get kicked out right away, because you get tested with your urine at random times, and there are a bunch of people that I know who have been kicked out. Do they make brawn over brains, or vice versa? In the Navy, I would say it's more brains over brawn, and even in the Air Force, it's more brains over brawn, but I would say it's a flip for Army and Marines. More, well, I'm not saying they are not that intelligent, but what I'm saying is it's a lot more physical of what they do in the Marines and Army compared to the Navy. Yeah. Just dropping a comment, bro. Another day down. Yeah, respect, Milwaukee, thank you, and welcome back. Doom Trigger, he just wants a QT Korean girl. There's an army base in Korea. There is. I was actually close to there not too long ago. It's in a place called Itaewon. I was eating there with my family one day last year when I was in Korea, and I could see like a American family, stuck close to each other, and is mayonnaise an instrument? Is mayonnaise an instrument? I'll play that on YouTube. 33 seconds video. Watch it with me, guys.
Okay now, how many of you have played musical instruments before?
Do instruments of torture count?
No.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either.
Mayonnaise man, it's your fault for having that name. Okay. How much money have you been able to save while serving, Jay Lee? I've been in the military for 2 years exactly. This month I joined June 2nd of 2015. 2015, so it's 2017. I've been in the military for 2 years, and I have over $20,000 in my savings account. But if I like penny pinched, if I saved everything, and if I was very frugal, I would have over $30,000. I spent a lot last year when I went to Korea. I spent several $1,000s. So ideally, if you penny pinch, you should be able to save $30,000 within 2 years. But if you spend moderate like I do, you should be able to have $20,000. Because ideally, you should save $1,000 each month. So yeah. But I spent a lot of money. I'm not I should be more frugal. But I went to Korea last year. I buy a lot of gifts for my family, and I help out my family a lot. And I also going to Disney World August with my girlfriend, so I'm spending a good bit of money there for Disney World. When the Navy says it is known for traveling, how true is that, Halo Man? I mean, so one thing that you might not understand kind of with the Navy type thing is, right, it's not the most ideal traveling experience, right? Because when you are on deployment for, let's say, 9 months, right, yes, you could visit multiple different countries, but it's not a guarantee that you will visit multiple different countries. There are a lot of people that go on a 9-month deployment but never set foot on another land, another country's soil, right? There's a bunch of examples like that. But the most ideal experience of a deployment is within 9 months, every month you visit some kind of country, right, for 5 days. But how much of an experience do you get within 5 days? Yeah, sure, you can say you visited another country, but to visit somewhere for 5 days and then move to another country for 5 days, you don't get the full experience of that country, right? So one thing that I wish I kind of looked into was being in the Air Force. If I could be in the Air Force, I think Air Force gets to get stationed in different countries a lot more than other branches. I'm not entirely too sure how true that is, but I've seen a bunch of other people who are in the military in the YouTube videos that are stationed 2 years in Korea, 2 years in Japan, 2 years here, 2 years there. I would love to be in 2 years in Korea, because now I can spend 2 years in Korea, 2 years in Japan, compared to just 5 days here, right? So I'd rather have 2 years of one country than 5 days of several different countries, because 2 years I can get the full experience, and after I finish the military, then I can travel. But I mean, it's on your preference. But just because you join the Navy doesn't guarantee that you get to visit other countries. I know plenty of people that have been in the military for like 4, 5, 6 years, or maybe even 10 years, or even 20 years, that's never been on a ship. How do you know what billets to choose or specialized jobs to pick to advance your career in the Navy? Sorry for the grammar. So Matt, you necessarily don't. Okay, so let me kind of explain. So, for example, right? For example, let's say right now, logistics specialists, LSs, have 80% advancement rating from E3 to E4, right? And what that means is they need more LSs, right? Because they are trying to man it up. And it's not 80%, it's 44%, but give you an example here. Let's say it's 80% and advancement rate is extremely high, and they're trying to fill LSs. And that's how it is now. But if I tell you, hey, pick this rate, pick this job, because, advancement rate is right now extremely high. It's the rate to be. But by the time you join, a year from now, they might have already filled that quota, and the advancement from 80% might have shrunk down to 10%. So I can tell you one thing now, but it might not be true when you join, right? So for me to say, hey, this is the job you should pick, it wouldn't be doing you disservice, because you might join thinking, oh, LSs have 80% advancement rate, but by the time you join, it only might be 10% or even less, right? So I can't really give you a straight answer. But a general rule of thumb, air, department and supply department have pretty good advancement percentage. Especially LSs. LSs are pretty fair. Just on a yearly basis, it's pretty fair. But yeah, there's no one silver bullet rate that's always, that's a guarantee. Well, if you want to go very competitive, nuke. If you want to go nuclear option, like nukes, you do 2 years in school, come out as a third class, and if you extend another 2 years, you get a $90,000 bonus up to like $99,000, and then you hit E5, and then within the time that you have, you might be able to hit first class. I've seen very, very young chiefs with nukes. Nukes make a lot of money, but it's also extremely competitive. You're likely on a ship half the time you're on duty, bro. Ships don't stay in one place forever. Oh gosh, okay. Can you transfer branches in the military? They say that you can, but extremely difficult. So there's what's called the blue to green program. Blue to green program. So from the Navy to the Army. But that's, if I apply for it, that's extremely unlikely that's going to happen. Yes, but you must wait till your contract ends to switch. What season would you say is the best to go to boot camp? I would say early spring, when it's becoming from winter to spring, or during fall when it's not too hot or not too cold. But you run the risk of not being able to spend Christmas with your family, so that's taking a risk at your own hand. Do you plan on retiring from the Navy? No, I just want to do my short time, my contract, and get out. The enlisted recruiter once told me, why don't you join the enlisted first? Because who do you think they will pick first, enlisted or someone coming from the civilian world? What are my thoughts? My personal thoughts? They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. As long as you qualify for the job, then you're good. That's my personal thoughts. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I mean, I guess on paper, it would look good, right? Obviously, on paper, oh, this guy was prior more military. Let's, signing him. Let's make him join. But, there's so many, enlisted people that are not of a good moral ethics. I don't think that really matters. What can I bring to boot camp and not have to ship back home? I don't want to send anything back home. Bring your wallet, bring your address book, bring about $20 and like maybe 10 ones and 2 5s. Just add some backup money. So bring your wallet, address book, some pictures of home and your family in your wallet. If you don't want to send anything back home, well, you kind of have to, because the clothes on your back when you come to boot camp, that's something that you have to send home. So you're given a little box. So I mean, you're gonna have to send some home anyway. But if you don't want to send that, because when you send that package, you pay, I think it was like $25 to send it all back home. If you don't want to pay that $25, then you would have to throw away your shoes, throw away the t-shirt that you're wearing to boot camp, throw away the underwear and stuff, all the clothes that you're wearing. You would have to throw all those away. When you first started doing vlogs, did you ever feel awkward being in front of the camera? Haley, personally for me, no, because I've been making YouTube videos since high school, because I first started making origami videos, middle school, because I first started making breakdance videos. Then in high school I made origami videos, and then in college I had a style channel, then I had a watch channel, then I started my military channel before I left for the military. So I mean, of course I do get camera shy when I'm vlogging out in public and, you know, people look at me, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm developing the skill, the hard skin to not care. So I do feel a little bit like, oh, you know, this person's looking at me, but at the end of the day, I'm becoming better at it and not caring. So from, you know, very young age, I had a natural talent to make videos and YouTube videos, and developed my ability to speak very early on. Okay. I'm ready, promotion. I'm ready. Did you set financial goals before you joined such as how much you wanted to save by 2 years? No, and I did not really have a financial like goal or like thing set in mind. I just knew I wanted to save money. I didn't really know what I was going to use it for, but later on it came up say, hey, I think it's a good time to buy a house now. So that's what my family and I are planning to do. I'm planning to contribute at least $20,000 to $30,000 depending on when we buy the house as a down payment, and we're going to pull it up with my family and purchase a house. So that will be a very good success story for a person to join the military and to buy a house at a young age. You know, I'm 24, so that will be pretty good. So no, I didn't have a financial goal. I had financial skills. I had the ability to save because I've read, you know, a lot of books on financial advice and financial saving and all that kind of stuff, and I applied those in my life. So I had the skills to begin with because I've developed it over the years since high school, and yeah, it helped me be able to save a lot of money and be somewhat okay with my finances. Would you get kicked out in a state where weed is legal? Yes. Because you're still abiding by the military law. Like once you put the uniform on, you're applying your military law is the law. But if you get trouble in the civilian world, then it's like a double-edged sword now. Then, because, you know, if you get DUI, for example, driving under the influence, and you get caught by a civilian police officer, then you get a ticket with the civilian world, and you might have to show up for the court in the civilian world. Then, you know, you still have to deal with the military thing where you broke the military law. So you go to captain's mass, and you might get kicked out of the military. So you deal with two things instead of one. Yo, this live stream is kind of lit, Michael Bearden. Thank you. Weed is why. Okay. Oh shoot. As far as, oh man, so I'm backed up on a lot of questions here, so for those of you who are coming in just now, it's 10 o'clock, so I should wrap it up pretty soon, actually. It might take a while to get to your question, but I'm going to try to skim through it as fast as I can and knock it out real quick. So as far as I hear from the community, if you were in the Air Force and asked for Korea, you would most likely get it. Cool. Have you ever had a drink, Yoon? Yes, I do occasionally. I drink socially. He drank bleach. I drink mayonnaise. Nice to see you, Yoon. Nice to see you. Navy Mom. Can you tell anything about firemen, rescue rate, rescue rate as in like a rescue swimmer? If you know anything, of course. So firemen, so FCs, I don't know exactly too much about them. I know they don't like, from what I heard, they don't like physically fight the fire. That's the DCs, damage controlmen. The FCs kind of monitor all that kind of stuff. And the rescue rate is rescue swimmer. rescue swimmer, you get a separate training for that. So I could apply to be a rescue swimmer if I could pass the physical side of things. And also there's a lot of like written tests you have to do. Each ship has to have a certain number of rescue swimmers. So rescue swimmers, you get SAR swimmer, you get a bonus too. So I forgot exactly what the bonus was. I think it was like $2,000 or $5,000. But that's an interesting thing. So I thought about it at one point, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I like how people are just asking serious question, and we're just chilling. Yeah, it's like a hangout / Q&A. Isn't it true if you go through boot camp for one branch, then you can join any branch? Yes, I heard of that. I don't know how true it is, but that is one thing that I heard to be true. And if you remember, what was your PFA at boot camp? I actually saw it not too long ago. I think I got good high. I don't know, whatever the score system is. I put a link up earlier. I got a good high. So this is the age range for a good high. Posting it right now. So for my age, from 20 to 24, I got a good high. I forgot exactly what it was, but yeah. Can you bring your cell phone on deployment to take pictures of ports and pull up? Yes, you can bring your cell phone. Your commanding officer might have specific rules, like, hey, you can only use it during this time, or hey, you can only use it during this place. You're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do this. So it's at the discretion of your commanding officer. But when you are at port, then you should be able to take pictures and stuff perfectly fine, as long as you're not giving away any information about the ship. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't show you around the ship, right? That's because that's a big no-no. Like here, I don't go like, hey, this is where I work. This is where the location of it is within the ship. Hey, this is what parts are here stored in the ship. So that's obviously one big no-nos, and I don't do that. As much as I would love to, I can't. Did you have problems with seasickness? Did you readjust after long leaves? So while I'm at sea, on a carrier, it's not too bad. The rocking on a small ship, it's going to be terrible. But on a small ship, imagine this is the flat surface, and you're out at sea, and there's a storm. At best, it might be about, what's this, 30 degrees? Unless the ship does it on purpose. There's sometimes when the ship does it on purpose, and it's like, like leaning like this. But it's kind of fun to see when everyone's at attention, and then you kind of like the ship is, when the ship is like curving like this, everyone's walking straight, right? Everyone's walking straight, and the ship's curving, and like people are just naturally lean towards this way, and they still walk normally. It's a very cool thing to just observe. And like even at land, like on last Sunday when I was at church, people were singing, and they were like rocking back and forth, and I was like naturally following along with them, because that's how it was out at sea. And I was like, oh, I'm reacting to this like I'm out at sea, but I'm on land. So in my head, I thought I was out at sea, but I realized I'm in land. So it's like a kind of weird experience that you're going to get. Do you ever follow Navy's learning and development ladder? Matt, ditto. So I do have a printout of it, and I do look at it very occasionally. Like every once while I'm at I know basically everything that's on it for logistics specialists, because I've looked through it so many times. So like for C school, A school, roadmaps, the career path that they have, I look at it a lot, and I take a lot of the Navy knowledge online and KO courses that it has, and I take a lot of those. So yes, I do look at those, and I do follow those, and it's proven me beneficial. I don't know if you know anything about it, but from what I can see from doing research about what branch to go, it seems Air Force basic training has totally different rules. I wonder why it is. So yeah, that's one thing that I noticed. So like when I look at the BMT bootcamp videos for Air Force guys, they bring their own stuff, like their own toothpaste, their own, you know, hygienic gear, compared to the Navy and Army where it's like all provided. So you know, they have their own set of rules, which is, I guess, pretty cool. Air Force, Navy. Yo Yoon, Epic Stevo, what's up? What's up, family? My friend, before he joined the Navy, never smoked, but he started smoke because he said it was the only way to take a break. How often does this happen in the U.S. Navy? I understand why. Because smokers do get their own smoke breaks compared to, like, so I don't smoke, right? So, you know, there are people that smoke, say, hey, can I get a smoke break? And they're almost like obligated some time to smoke, but they kind of abuse the crap out of it. So if you smoke, so let's say you work 12 hours a day, right? So a normal person like me would work 12 hours a day, but a smoker, you know, transiting from the designated places to smoke within a carrier. So if a smoker within 12 hours, you know, smokes maybe like, you know, a cigarette every hour, you know, that adds up a lot. You know, it's let's say that's 10 minutes per smoking session, which more likely it's about 15 minutes per smoking session. So 12 times 15, that adds up, and you get almost like a 2-hour break, right? So I understand why he would say that. How many years am I on Crash Act? 4 years active, 1 year extension, so 5 years total. Saltgrass, I don't know what that is. Do you ever think you'll get into the business of flipping houses? Maybe. I like houses. I don't know if that's my natural talent or it's something that I'm naturally good at, but I always incline towards houses, and I love houses, looking at them. So hopefully once I get out of the Navy, maybe I'll know for sure. The military seems like such a good way to save money, because you make what civilians make, but without spending. Yes. For financial opportunities, military is a very, very good way to go if you have the skills to save money and have the patience. What would you agree with someone that says military funds suck? Military funds? It depends. Are they in the military? And if they're in the military and say the military doesn't get paid much, it's because they don't. It's not because the military gets paid too little. It's because they don't manage their money well. To me, I have a strong opinion on that, right? Because I started as an E1 and I'm an E3. I know there are people in the military that basically have been in the same amount of time as me that have $25,000 in their bank account. I know people who are in, you know, $10,000 to $15,000 in debt because they have a car and they have, you know, brand new phones, and they pay, you know, crazy amounts of money like that. And there are people like me that save a lot of money and live, you know, well within their means, not below their means, but well within their means. So it's not how much money you get, because there are doctors that get paid a butt ton of money, but they're in debt, right? There's a bunch of stories like that. So you could give all the money in the world, but if you suck at managing money, you're not going to have money, and you're going to have the need for more because you think more money will solve your problems, but you don't realize the problems are internal. And you always blame external. The joke among branches is that the Navy has a lot of gays. How true is that? I think it's pretty fair across all branches. So I don't know. What's up, Yoon? Doing some cardio right now. Now I gotta get into boot camp shape. Wang bang. So awesome. If you're watching my video and running at the same time, thumbs up to you. Or if you're walking, you got to use some military SAR school. My dad was a SAR. Awesome. Are you watching while on the treadmill? So when you go on port, you're allowed. So can you bring your phone and your electronics to boot camp? No. At least not in the Navy. Not in Navy boot camp. Whoa, you go to church. Cool beans. Rocking with the people at church. The civil engineer. MF grind. What's MF grind? Kappa. He's jamming in church. Yeah, I saw the video where girls were shopping before they go to boot camp for undergarments to take your Air 4 BMT. Seems very lenient. Seems so. And also I heard Air Force locks up for your personal belongings until right before graduation, whereas other branches will mail it back home. Yes, that's one thing that I did hear. Hey, Yoon, the other day I went on vacation in the Middle East, and I fought off 16 ISIS members. Oh God, yeah, finding them, yeah, and yeah, I'm doing the stair stepper. Okay, stair stepper. Wang Bang, you should do the bike. In the military pays their money in full, so it's all about saving skills. Yes, I agree with saving skills. Are you planning to renew your contract and stay more years? Emma, I might do my shore duty if I could get somewhere close to Pennsylvania. I don't know if I want to do it. It's kind of one of those where like, oh, I'll see what happens when I get there. So one thing that I'm hoping for, if I get approved for officers, then cool, I'll be an officer. If I don't get approved for officer, maybe I'll quit my military life after 5 years. But I might take up a shore command and stay in, extend my contract 2 or 3 more years, and then live up my shore contract close to home in New Jersey or something like that. Or if I can be in Pennsylvania, that would be the most ideal thing for me. Did you hear about the new high tenure policy starts in August, E4 through E6? I don't know exactly what the details are. Hold on, but let me. Hello, man. What do you and the other sailors do for fun in Virginia? We travel. There's always something happening. There's what's it called? Busch Gardens. So higher tenure policies, which is extending how long. Okay, so what happened is so one of my friend, right? He's E3 right now, and he wasn't able to pick up rank, so the military kicks him out after a certain point if he doesn't pick up rank. So this kind of saves some people from that, right? So there are people that want to stay in, but don't make it on the test, maybe because they're bad test takers or they don't study enough, whatever the case may be. But I get mixed reviews with this. Some people like it, some people hate it, because some people, their goal is to be E4 and get higher tenure because they get like $9,000 after they get higher tenured out from E4, and they don't want to be in the Navy for any longer than they have to now because they extended this. Then they have to be in it for longer. So I don't know the exact details on this. I'll have to read it up later, but yeah, it's mixed reviews really. How much do you make on a monthly basis, and how much do you spend? Monthly basis, you make about I make about 18,000. I mean, 1,800, 1,850, depending on the month. So 300 of that goes to my TSP account, and ideally I spend $200-300 on a monthly basis, just eating out and stuff, and I usually try to save $1,000 each month. So I don't know exact numbers, but it's been 2 years. I have $20,000, so I haven't been able to save all that much as I should have and wanted to, but I spent a lot of stuff. So I would say I save a good $800-900 on average. $600, $700, $800, $900 each month. Can you go to firing range for free, and do you have to pay for your gun? Firing range, and to go to firing range is usually free. You always have to pay for guns and bullets, is what usually the deal is, right? From my understanding. What's the job in the Navy? I'm a logistics specialist. So guys, I'm going to close it out here soon. I'm going to try to... what church do you go to? I go to Korean Church, Church of Love in Philadelphia, and Youngsang Church. Any tips for the ASVAB? Yes, Julius, study. And It's not something you can take lightly. Treat it like the SATs. You want to get a high score, because once you get a high score, you have more options. More options give you power to choose your fate, choose your rate, choose your fate. So I hope that satisfies your answer. Kind of rushing it through here since I'm trying to close it out. When do you go to A school after boot camp? Right away, the next day. MF means, oh, I'm there, okay. Does doing stair stepper and treadmill help run time, helps with your cardio? Do you get income tax on your basic pay? Yes. Just because you're a uniform member doesn't mean you avoid taxes. You still pay taxes like everyone. I lose weight. I lose weight by, okay. Find out 100 pounds in 2 days. Kappa, I wish that was like that. I wish I could lose weight that easily. McFernie, what's up? Yoon will get to Poon soon and high noon. You say that a lot, I think. You rhyme Yoon with a lot of stuff. Poon soon, high noon, soon baboons. What is it? Dragoons. I hear a lot of stuff. Do you get taxed on your BAH or your food allowance? I should know with the BAS. BAS, I don't think you get taxed, because I got BAS at a certain point. I don't think I was taxed. BAH maybe, but I don't think so too. One day when you blow up on YouTube even more, we will remember these times when you could get to all our questions. Yes, you're right, Anne. But even then, even like within 10 years, I'm definitely going to be I have 1 million subscribers within 10 years. I look at this at a long-term game, not a short-term game. But even at then, when I get 1 million subscribers, when people comment, I'm still going to read the comments. I might not get to every single comment, but I'll probably spend at least an hour a day reading the comments. So, and even if when you say that now, if you just say, hey, you remember the time when you used to do live videos and stuff, and I used to ask you questions, when you say that, I'll probably respond at one point, saying like, oh yeah, I remember. Said JT can't answer it because there's so many people now. Nikki is having a huge volume too. Yoon finally about. No, Nikki and them blew up because of JT, and JT got a big boost from Nava the Beast and Kyle Gott. So if one day when I go to California, if I collab with JT, then it'll give me a huge boost. So until then, I'm not gonna get. I know for a fact, I'm not gonna get a huge increase until I collab with other YouTubers. Yeah, JT's a cool dude. He's a very comical guy. I'm more of like a serious guy, which I don't just naturally happens, but I don't try to be. I try to be funny as possible, but I'm not a very humorous person like JT is. After you're done with your contract and focus shifts to video photography, no, I'm more into business. I like real estate. I like homes, but I might do a lot of stuff with YouTube. Like one thing that I'm thinking about doing is traveling a lot. So one thing that I'm planning with my friends right now is we're gonna travel all 50 states. So and the way we fund this is through my YouTube channel, right? My YouTube channel right now makes $200 each month. By 3 years, it should make about, I don't know, roughly about $400 or $500 each month. So every single day, we're going to try to make a video about our travel, traveling 50 states in maybe like 6 months. That's kind of going to fund our trip. So that's, I like to do, I'm probably going to do a lot of like traveling stuff or whatnot. I don't know exactly when, but that's currently the general thesis right now, general idea right now. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but yeah. E4 increases from 8 years to 10 years. Holy crap, 10 years. No one's gonna be E4 for 10 years. That'll be the first I've ever seen an E4 to do 10 years. E5 to 12 years. E6 from 20 to 22. Oh man, that's torture. E5 14 to 16. Yes. That almost seems like a torture, really. Goal set. Let's come back in 10 years. Do you ever get tired of doing videos about your job because it's like you've always talked about your work even when you're off? And I don't get tired of it, because if I don't want to do it, I don't do it. There was a point where in the beginning of this year, for like 2 months, I only posted like 2 videos just because I didn't want to post any videos. So at that time, I was kind of burned out and tired, but I really go by my emotions. If I don't want to do anything, I don't feel the obligation to do something. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. So, like for right now, like I already have, over 500 videos. So technically I could walk away now and never look back and I'll be perfectly okay, but I just do what I do because number one, it helps people, and number two, a lot of people like it. A lot of people, I get good feedback saying, hey, you've given me some type of direction in my life, thank you. So I like doing what I do, and I don't mind talking about what I do. It's not like anything personal or too detailed or anything complicated or anything difficult. I can talk for a minute or two. You're staying at your friend's house now? No, this is my my house in Pennsylvania. I'm on leave, vacation right now. Hence, that's why I was able to do a live video every single day, because I had the time to. Yeah, this is my house. This is my room. It's my brother's bed, but I stay here because my brother's in Virginia right now because he's in the Army National Guard Reserves. So he's in a mission over there. So yeah. How much do you know about ABH's rank pay? I heard they don't get ranked up that easily. Pay is same as normal people, but they get flight deck pay, so a little bit more. I think that's like $50 or so more. What's on the depth test? What you get on the depth packet when you get into the depth program. How long has this stream been? It feels like it's only been 10 minutes. Well, thank you for saying that, Michael. I think you've been with me from the beginning. It's been 111 minutes. Renting room? Yeah, this is an apartment. So, how long? Okay. Have you ever do the reserves after finishing your contract? Would you ever do the reserve? No. No. I would not. After doing one thing, like people who are in the reserves are much more gung-ho about the military. Like, oh yeah, I'm in the military. But people who are active duty in the military are like, dude, I'm in the military. That's one big difference. People who are in the reserves don't understand to the full degree of what active duty feels like, and they're much more motivated. But when you're active duty, it's like you can't wait to get out. So that's one thing. So would I do the reserves? No. JT didn't even do the reserves. He did it at one point for like a year, but he's like, there's no way I want to do this. So he got out of the reserves. Because after his active duty, he joined for the reserves, but then he opted out of it after a year. What do you recommend doing before the day of the written test for the military? For the ASVAB, get a lot of sleep and rest. How's mom and dad? They're great. I bet they are happy to have you home. Yes, they are. We spent a lot of family time this week. By the way, how did you celebrate your birthday? As soon as I got home, we ate cake. We didn't do anything too special because the next day was my cousin's wedding, and my aunt from Korea is in America, so we traveled to a lot of places. How much does the Navy take out of your paycheck for room and boarding, including food? The Navy... so if you apply for housing, the Navy gives you money for housing, and the Navy takes that money back. So it's not like you're losing money. They give you money, but they take it back. For food, they give you money. So if there is no facility available for you in the Navy for you to eat for free, then the Navy pays you what's called the BAS, Basic Allowance for Subsistence, and that's depending on where. That also depends on where you are. But where I was in Virginia, I got paid $367 or $369, something like that. But I was able to pocket a lot of that because I ate oatmeal and eggs and sausage. Do you regret joining the Navy? No, I hate being in the Navy. But I'm very appreciative of what the Navy has done. It has made me it has made me a better person. My work ethic has improved tremendously from it, and I'm very grateful for that. Financially, I was better off being in the military at that point. but I can't wait to get out. My friend in the reserves, all he does is sit on the hill on the base once a month, have a picnic while holding up a rifle. What type of workouts do you do? Thanks for the ASVAB tips. So to prepare for the military, all you need to do is calisthenics. So a lot of push-ups, variations of push-ups. So if you could just do straight push-ups, that's fine, but do a lot of calisthenic workouts. When do you get out? I am scheduled right now to get out 2020 of June, because that's when my contract ends. Do you get paid for your time in boot camp? Yes, but it's reduced by half. So once you get out of boot camp, then it starts to slowly build back up. But when you are in boot camp, for example, let's say your E1 pays like $1,600, you get half of that, and also you get deducted some money because you pay for your uniform. So you're kind of a double-edged sword there. 2020, that's when I start my ROTC. Alright guys, so I did finally catch up with all the questions, so I'm going to close it out here very, very soon. For the reserves, I feel like it's a nice option because you get to commit you aren't committed 24/7, but you feel like you're all-day training once a month. That's a lot of time though. But you are in it for 8 months, 8 years, I mean. So it's kind of like, do you really want to do it for 8 years reserves or 4 years active duty? I would personally do it for 4 years active duty. A lot of people in the reserves feel held down. You want to call tomorrow? Mayonnaise man, mayonnaise. Are you what was your name on Facebook? We were talking last night. Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy, hit me up on Facebook message tomorrow, and then we can do Instagram. I mean, we can do Messenger Live. Alright guys, so right now I am, I'll switch it over to Instagram Live. So for those of you who follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, the link is in the description section down below. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to get water soon. Water right now, ice water. So I'm going to make a Instagram Live while I'm drinking some water. Alright guys, so thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you for all your support and love. And I hope you have a great Navy Day, guys. By the way, I'm trying to build like a persona right now. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I'm trying to build an image. I think this is one of my signatures right there. Alright, so good night.